here, Hillbilly Half Acre Homestead. Who can tell me who this is? I know you're sitting there thinking, my God, Romeo, you shrank. No, this isn't Romeo. See, he's got a butt. This is, for lack of a better name, this is Loverboy. And I'm having some second thoughts about that name, okay? So, but I haven't decided on anything appropriate. I mean, look at this guy. I can't just throw just any name on this guy. I mean, just look at him. He's scared to death. He is real skittish, and that's why we decided we were going to use him as our subject for this video, because he needs to be handled and we need to tame him down a little bit, okay? And what we're going to talk about today, folks, see, I told you not to touch your nose. Now my nose itches. You're going to see me, it's going to look like I'm picking my nose now through this whole video. And speaking of which, yeah, we've recorded all these last 4 or 5 videos on the same day, so, hey, Spider-Man's still going strong. Although, he's going to be wishing I'd take him off and throw him in the washing machine as much as I've sweated today. I know, TMI, right? Sorry. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today, we've had some people talk about that stuff that the judge says. You know, the judge throws the rabbit up here on the table, you know, and he starts doing this, and he's doing this, and he starts talking, Got a bit of a late start to his top line there. Tad weak in the shoulders. Nice roundness over the top of the loin. Rounds nicely around the back of the hindquarter. Would like to see a little more depth in his. And what is he saying? Is this Greek? What did he just say? I've been there. I looked over at my wife one day. I said, is he Spanish? What is he saying? I don't know. Well, it took a while. Now we know. It was some of them really are Spanish, though. We love them all. But, no, really, I mean, some of that stuff, what are those terms? What do they mean? Okay, there's so many places. The rabbit's only so big. How can we have so many places on a rabbit? Well, you know, pretty obvious here. When the judge starts off, we're going to give this rabbit credit for good head and ears. Well, what does that mean? He's got a good head and ears. The standard says give him 15 points for head and ears. So he's giving him credit for good head and ears. So he's giving him that 15 points. Okay, that's what it means. That's all it means. Why couldn't he just say that? I know, that's what I thought myself. Why couldn't he just say that? Well, you know, once you get the hang of it and you understand what he's saying, then you can appreciate it. And no offense, folks, but there's kind of like this little satisfaction knowing that you've been around the rabbit shows long enough that you know what this means, and that guy over there don't. But if he comes up and asks you, help him out. Don't just snub up your nose and turn away. I've had people do me that way. What's wrong with you? Are you afraid? What is it? Are you afraid if you teach me something, my rabbits are going to start winning and yours aren't? Come on, isn't it all about competition in the first place? I mean, seriously. Grow up, people. What we need to know. This rabbit is a bit, the judge says, and that tail ain't supposed to be under there. There it is. And the judge says, this rabbit is a bit hollow in the loin. What does that mean? Okay, well, let me show you the loin. Right here. See this area? Right here. The backbone is here. On either side of that backbone is a big old thick muscle. Now on him, this muscle-bound stud right here, his loin comes about out to here. Okay? And it goes all the way on either side of the bone. It comes all the way back here. Now what we're talking about, this backbone is here. If he's a bit hollow in the loin, he's going to be, if you're looking at him from the back, the way you're looking at right here now, he's got a pretty nice loin. But if he didn't, he would be sunken in right here. Right here where this muscle is, see, he's nice and round and meaty. He would be sunken in right here. And especially, you'll notice it a lot of times right above. And he's not too bad, but you'll notice it right above. See the hips? See this width here where these hips poke out here because they're so fleshy and meaty, and he's a muscle-bound stud. See, if he's hollow in the loin, this won't meet this properly, and there will be a sunken in area right here. That's your hollow loin, okay? Now, what does it mean we'd like to see a little more depth in this animal? Well, no, that don't mean you need to take it home and dig a hole and throw it in there. No, that's not what that means. Here's what it means. To have a good balance, in most breeds, especially commercial breeds, you want rabbits that balance out nicely, okay? Width and depth. Width is this right here. See this? That's width. Here's your depth. Right here to right here. That's your depth. Depth is how high that rabbit is. The back of that rabbit is off the table. If he wants to see more depth, that means he wants this rabbit, instead of being this high, he wants to see it this high. Okay? If he would like to see, in a lot of cases you'll hear a judge say, I'd like to see a little more width to balance out with the depth. What that means is, it means that rabbit's up to here, but he's only about this wide. Okay? He looks like, well, he looks like he ain't wide enough. Okay, he's kind of like, he's kind of like some of them people. I'm not fat, I'm just short for my weight. Well, a rabbit that needs a little more width to balance out with the depth looks like he's a little tall for his weight. Okay, you want it to balance out. Okay, how do you know if it's balanced out? Well, here's one little trick if you can do it. One, he's this wide. Okay, now try not to move your hands. Come over here, and do this. And you want that depth to be balanced with that width. This and this. The closer that is together, the more balance you've got in your animal. Okay? That is the overall intact. That's one of the most important things. The judge wants the animal, regardless, he wants the animal to look balanced. Okay? He don't want a lowrider. He don't want one widened out, so you can go off-roading. He don't want one jacked up in the back. He wants them balanced, okay? Now, this guy's got pretty good balance, okay? Now, if the judge tells you this animal's got a little bit of a late start to his top line, well, here, look. His top line is naturally, you're looking this way. You got him nice and posed here. He's not actually posed that great. Okay, there we go. Sit down here, buddy. Put your nose down. Now, this is the one drawback that I have to this guy. Okay, this is the one issue I have with him. He is a bit weak and a bit late. Okay, the top line is the side profile going and rounding over the top of his body. The top line here, all the way from here, goes from the base of the ears, should come up and peak right above the hips, and then round off nicely down towards the tail. All right. If it doesn't do that, here's the thing. You see, take it easy, buddy. It's just a chicken. Okay? I'm not going to let him eat you. Now, see this little ripple right here? This little ripple. Can you see this little ripple?
Yeah.
Now, right here, you got this little ripple. See here? And then, see this? How this starts right here? Right here, and it starts. And it comes up, peaks nicely, right over the center of the hips like it should, and it rounds out pretty nice down towards the tail. This little ripply place right here, where my finger is, ideally, if the start to his top line was proper, it should start right here. So this little area right here is also what you would call being a bit long in shoulder. But the judge a lot of times will call it having a late start to the top line, because that top line should start and round perfectly around, but it should start right here at the base of the ears. So this little area here, and these shoulders are kind of flat and low, and they're weak. Okay, he's a bit weak in the shoulders. That is a common problem with Reds, with New Zealand Reds. Okay, they're notorious for weak shoulders. It's something breeders got to work on. We're constantly trying to improve that. Okay. But I've got a couple of pretty nice shouldered does that I think he can work with, okay? That's why I'm considering keeping him around. But I'm still looking at him. He's not old enough to be considered for a herd buck or or anything like that at this point in time, okay? I'm looking at him. Okay? And even if, and there's always a possibility, we'll just keep him, we'll breed him to a couple of does, and then let somebody else take him and use him for their program. They might have they might have a program that could use his good qualities to complement some bad qualities in that herd. Okay. What else? Okay. He's a little bit pinched in the hindquarter, the judge says. Okay, well, somebody walked up and pinched a rabbit on the butt? No, that's not what that means. Remember, we've talked about this before. Come here, buddy, help me out here. Come on, we're going to flip. Come on, we're going to flip. Yep, right like this. Remember how we talked about how these feet, they need to go parallel? See, he's got a pretty nice hindquarter. See how those feet are parallel? You also want them to be set neatly apart, even more with the size of his body. Okay? You don't want, when you push these feet in together, and you see that they're parallel, you don't want them to be in here close together. Like that. Okay? You don't want that. Let me show you what's going to happen. Okay? Now I'm facing him this way to the camera for the reason this is what I'm trying to show you, okay? And I hope you're getting it. You see how on the roundness here of his body, you see how he's nice and round? You see how he's nice and round from here to here? Now he does have a little bit of a hiccup right in here, okay? That could fill out. He's still growing, okay? It could fill out, so we're not going to panic just yet about that. Not to mention I've seen him win a lot worse than this, so we'll see. We still want the best that we can come up with, so. But we want nice roundness from here to here, around that hindquarter. We want him rounded, you know. Okay, sit like this. Okay, now those feet are nice and straight. If those feet are not nice and straight, they're going to be. Those feet are going to be like this. Remember how I showed you before when their feet are kind of in a V pattern and they won't go straight? Okay? He doesn't have that problem. If he had that problem, I probably wouldn't have wanted him. This is a hard problem to get with. You know, if you're a breeder, a lot of times you can't work on both ends of the rabbit at the same time. While I still want to improve the shoulder as we go, I'm working on this hind end, okay? And hopefully, one of these days, we'll just have a rabbit that pops out here that looks good on both ends. Now, we have one right now. Her name starts with a B, but we need more. And no, I'm not calling her a bad name. Smart Alex. Tell you what. Anyway, this, from here, you don't want flat spots. When you're looking at this, when you're looking from the side here and you've got him all posed up, you don't want flat spots. Roundness is what we're looking for. Isn't that what we were talking about? You want a continuous roundness, okay? He's going to peak up here above his hips, and he's going to round out. You want nice continuous roundness, see? That looks nice. But you want the same thing going this way. You want your roundness going this way, and you want it going this way. Now, a pinched hindquarter, if those back legs, if you flip that rabbit over, okay, I know, buddy, we're going to do it one more time. We're going to do it one more time, and then we're going to quit, okay? Lay down here for me. Now, see how them feet are parallel? Now, if they're not that way, they're going to kick out like that, okay? And these ankle joints, they're going to be pointed in, okay? And their back feet are going to look kind of like, what? Kind of like, does that look kind of like, I don't know. Anyway, okay, say this is their hop joint, okay? Let's do it this way. Their back feet are going to be pointed in. This back hop joint is going to be closer together than their toes. You don't want that. You want their hop joint and their toes to be equal distances apart. Okay? Great. But we have to... If we have that, if we don't have that, if their feet are like this, the way we don't want, and they're not parallel with each other and sitting nicely, then what we're going to have is we're going to have two flat spots right here on their body. And when you pose them up and you look at them from the top, you're going to see two definite flat spots here, and it's going to look horrible, and you're going to have a flat spot right here in the back of their butt. Okay? That's a pinched hindquarter. Because these two areas right here are going to be sunken in. Okay? And there's not going to be any muscle coverage there that you need to keep it round. Nice and round. This needs to be round all the way around, see? And it is. He is. He's pretty nice. Okay? There's always room for improvement, I guess, but he's pretty nice on this back end here. Okay? We just got to hope that maybe something will improve with his shoulders. But in the meantime, we've got, like I said, we've got things we can work with here. Going either way. But that's just some of the lingo that you'll hear the judges rattle. I'm not making fun of you judges out there. If any of you judges out there have the misfortune of watching this video, guys, I'm not picking on you. I love you guys, okay? We do. But sometimes you talk so fast and you use terms that us good old boys just don't know what you're saying. But we're figuring it out a little bit at a time, and we're trying to help others to figure it out, and we hope y'all will too. Anybody watching this, there's some breeders out there, good breeders that watch this video, and you know, come on, I know a lot of times at a show we're rushed, but if somebody has a question, do your best to take a few minutes. I mean, especially if they honestly show you an interest and they want to learn. If they're just wasting your time, sometimes people will do that, okay? But give them the benefit of the doubt and try to answer questions and help somebody, okay? If you encourage people to go into this hobby, it's going to grow, and it's going to grow faster. And there's going to be more competition at our shows. The more competition we have at our shows, the better rabbits are going to come from those shows, okay? It's just a big cycle, and we want to keep that cycle going, okay? It's a good thing, all right? What you say, buddy? And in the meantime, I want to use something that kind of goes along with the fact that he's a red rabbit. But if you guys have any really nice suggestions, I don't know. He is a lover boy, but I just don't. The more I think about it, I'm having second thoughts about that name. And his name isn't set in stone. He hasn't been a breeder yet or anything. He really technically don't even have to have a name yet. He's got an ear number, and that'll work for now. But if you guys have a good suggestion, all right, because I am just so excited about how he is growing out to this point. He's not perfect, but you know, if I had a perfect rabbit, he probably wouldn't be sitting here. Somebody probably would have already bought him. No, I take that back because I wouldn't sell him. But anyway, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. We need to tame him down though. He seems to be a bit on the nervous side. That usually slows down when they get older and they start breeding. The bucks get to where they like to see people coming, because usually when they see people coming, either you're bringing them something to eat or you're bringing them a lady friend. So they get to where they like to see people come. And the bucks are so much nice and cute and lovable and easy to handle. But this little guy, he's not too bad. He's just a bit nervous. But making this video is going to help. He's getting some camera time, and he's getting some handling, and used to standing here with me and talking and hearing me talk and all that kind of stuff. So, hey, we thank y'all for watching. If you know, I just touched briefly on some of the terms that I've heard, and some of the terms that have been mentioned to me that people, they don't understand what it means. At some point, I didn't understand what it means. A lot of it over time, I just finally figured it out. Other times I just bit the bullet, and I knew somebody was going to make a face at me, but I asked somebody, what does that mean? And I actually have ran across some people that I've been snubbed, but I've ran across some great people that will take the time and actually answer my questions and help me a lot, and I appreciate that. Rabbit people are not all bad. There's good. It's like anything else, I guess. There's good and bad and everything. But if we put forth a little extra effort, wouldn't it be a lot nicer if we could all be helpful to the new guys that are coming in? This past year, I encountered so many people that had never showed a rabbit before. But in watching this channel and associating and interacting with us on our Facebook page, we helped them get it started. A lot of people had questions that didn't even know, okay, how do I enter a rabbit show? You send them this information, and when you get there on show morning, you give them $3.50 for every how many rabbits you entered, or every what the entry fee is. You know, where's the show at? Here's the address. In fact, here's the whole show catalog, and send it to them. And we've had some great people meet us at shows, buy some of our rabbits. It don't matter. You don't have to be buying our rabbits. We want to meet you guys. Stop by. There are times during a rabbit show that's very rushed though. So if you ever walk up to a rabbit breeder, somebody that you really like to talk to, and they have to all of a sudden just take off, that means their breed or gender or class has probably been called to the show table, and they need to get there. Okay, it's nothing personal. They have to get their rabbits to the table, or the judge is going to wait a few minutes, and she's going to say, "Okay, DQ, we're going to have to move on." Or she's going to say, "Scratch whoever's not here, and we're going to have to move on." So, you know, it's nothing personal. But rabbit show usually goes all day long, and your breed is not showing all day long. So you've got time to mingle and meet people and talk to people and learn. And that's all what it's about, right? Okay, guys, I hope this video helps you. If you have any other terms or anything like of that nature, I don't claim to be an expert here. I've told you, I've helped with what I can. Some things I ain't got everything figured out. But then again, who does, right? But if I can't answer your question, I'll help you find an answer. So feel free to contact if this doesn't clear everything up you want to know. You know, we went over width and depth. We went over where the loin's located. This is the hindquarter. Okay. Naturally, we know where the head and the ears are. We know what the top line is, and we know where the top line is supposed to start, and why we call it a late start in the top line. That's because if it's supposed to start here, and it doesn't start until here, it started late. So, you know, that's also called being long-shouldered or similar. You know, it's just a different way of saying multiple things. But he's a tad low. He's a tad weak in his shoulder when you get him set up. But we hope he'll be just fine. We've got rabbits that, you know, he's still got better shoulders than some rabbits we've had. But it's all good. Again, thank y'all for watching. We appreciate everybody that stayed to the end of the video. And y'all have a great day. God bless.